2016, Blizzard Entertainment published Overwatch for the Sony PlayStation 4, Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. The premise of the game is that it was an online team-based first-person shooter featuring different types of modes with relation to playing. Players on teams could choose a character to benefit the team that they played on, depending on the circumstances of the match, to counteract character choices by the opposing team, or for features of the characters that the players are able to choose with. From the cast of characters presented, there was always an imbalance of selection. The characters of class towards the end of the lifespan of the game were damage per second based characters, tank-based characters, and healing or supporting-based characters. A major source of complaints from the player base who kept Overwatch active throughout its lifespan on the consoles, as well as computer-based, at the time mostly asked Blizzard to come up with more characters of the tank and supporting classes. But Blizzard often created more damage-based characters. Overwatch was arguably one of the most casually based first-person shooting games of its generation, and for most casual players, choosing damage-based characters were their first choice of selection, and in some situations or scenarios, their only choice because of the gaming dynamics had it that tank or supporting characters were far more difficult to use effectively than a damage-based card. As in 2022, the sequel being that of Overwatch 2 was released, as the first true heroine to be released for the game under the new layout of the series was Kiriko. It was a major situation for the game as it had been roughly 3.5 years since the last support-based character for the game was released, and the lack of supporting or healing themed characters for the game were a primary concern as well as complaint from players to Blizzard. But with the new Battle Pass layout for the game, Kiriko was the first heroine that wasn't automatically available for players to use for gameplay. At the time, Kiriko had 3 methods for players to unlock. The first method being that, at the time, if players already own the first Overwatch game, they'd receive a Founders Pack and simply log into the server's first season to claim the character. Criticisms had that players of the original game were essentially getting the character for free, and players who were experiencing the concept of Overwatch for the first time through the sequel were automatically prevented from performing or even considering this choice. The second method is what caused the most amount of controversy, were that it forced new players to go through the Battle Pass method, as with the sequel it implemented the concept of in-game currency to purchase costumes, sprays, emotes, and other related things. As each tier or level of the Battle Pass would be completed, something would be unlocked for players to have. Kiriko was able to be unlocked at the 55th tier of the Battle Pass, so essentially players had to do an extraordinary amount of gameplay time to unlock the character during the allotted space. For casual gamers, this was a grinding and even stressful experience, because there had to be a set amount of gameplay done per day in order to comfortably have enough time during the allotted scale to unlock Kiriko, as there were online discussions of essentially being forced to play the game to unlock the character, as at the time there were a record amount of players for Overwatch 2, and speculations had it that the people who were staying around to play the game due in part for the grinding method to unlock and experience Kiriko in Overwatch 2. The third method was to essentially buy the premium Battle Pass for the amount of $9.99 United States currency, or £8.39 United Kingdom currency, where instead of the grinding method of gameplay to tier 55, it would automatically be unlocked due to the purchase. The 3 methods were just a glimpse into the methods that Blizzard would later use for hero and heroine transactions with Overwatch 2. A character can be overrated yet hated because it wasn't the character that was hated, it was the method by a video gaming developer to unlock a character for a gaming experience.